And we're back. It is round 2 of Fight Night at our watch party. In round 1, we looked at the first half of the season and the mall fight, and that was a knockout blow. Click the card at the top to catch that if you haven't seen it yet. Tonight, Dojos at war through the second half of the season and the school fight. Now, if you aren't interested in the prelude to the fight and just want to get into the details, jump ahead to the time on the screen. Otherwise, let's get started. Tension swings back and forth at Moon's party. It's rough at first, but with all the personality clashes, even Bert and this kid now have a beef. Yeah, I don't know his name, he's a minor character. But there's a moment where it seems to calm down. The dance contest is cool and seems to show the two sides at least getting along, except then Dimitri rips it apart. The fun is over, everybody's pissed, ready to fight, except for intervention by Moon and the local police, who exist only in the form of flashing lights. Anyway, on to the end fight. Now, according to the show's timeline, per Miguel's phone, the party was Saturday night, this was Sunday morning, and now it's Monday. It's a little odd that Miguel didn't text Tory all Sunday, though we can presume he at least tried calling her. I've always been annoyed by this. The slowly escalating fire that is Tory and Sam's rivalry is so very well done throughout the season, but then the most important moment, the final push before the climax that explodes all over, happens essentially off screen. We don't see Tory go from being annoyed she lost a drinking game to ready to start a fight. She sees the kiss, then walks away. There's no build. My take has always been the fact that she didn't confront Miguel and avoided him entirely shows that Tory was consciously putting all the blame on Sam. She didn't blame Miguel and didn't even want to consider it. This fits with her attitude for Sam and also her philosophy.
We have to fight for every inch of what's ours.
She considers Miguel her territory but knows he has feelings for Sam. So Tory is threatened by any attempt of Sam to move in on him. She'll fight to keep Sam away from him. Keep all this in mind, it's going to come up again later at a key moment. Otherwise, Daniel drops Sam off in a somewhat cold moment. He sends her off without so much as a have a nice day or I love you. Considering what happens, it feels like a missed moment between them. I'm not sure if it was intentional or just overlooked. It's definitely something that always strikes me. As for the fight, the good news is the fight is 1,000 times better than the mall fight. The setup is good, except, well, leaves me wanting more. My mind is always more drawn to the epic. You see, the show's score is like rock music, has guitars. That's all fine, but it seems to me if you're going to have two girls go to war with each other, well, you need to do it with a flute. Yeah, a flute. The most girly of all instruments. Like this.
I'm coming for you, bitch! I saw what you did at the party. Because Miguel.
And that's enough of that. You get the idea. So anyway, even though Hawk and Miguel were sitting right next to each other in class, Hawk managed to get to the fight fast while Miguel is still running around the hallways. I guess Miguel stopped to take a piss or something? That's good because it'll be the last piss he takes standing up for a long time.
What, too soon?
So like I said, this fight is far better than the other. It's better shot and you can follow this fight story from when Sam tries to run away all the way to Miguel's fall. Notice this doesn't rely on the fast edits and back and forth where you can't even make out what's going on. And as the other characters join in, the intensity builds, but you can follow the action. Plus, Hawk is so awesome. I made a video on him. Yeah! So Moon, who dressed for the first day of school like a genie out of the lamp, starts the long take which runs 1 minute and 18 seconds. Considering all the action going on, that is pretty impressive. There is a tradition for some long takes in Karate Kid, and this continues it. I like the camera swings, and like I said before, you can actually follow what's going on in each fight as it comes across. There's a good feel to it, it has a flow, each fight has its own, and what the hell was that? Yeah, this. Because that's not a punch. You see, this is a punch, that's an open hand. I know the show has a lot of influence from the 80s, but are we including telephone commercials here? That sure is what Sam's doing here. I mean, it doesn't look like a palm strike or similar, so this must be some special Miyagi-Do move her father taught her. That must have been an awkward day at the dojo. You know, come to think of it, how far back does this move go in? Anyway, the push sets up the fall later. This swing here is my favorite part of this shot. It has a real gritty Street Fighter feel to it. I kind of wish we could get this shot with one of the other characters, but I'll take this for now. It all ends with a Stingray beating the Miyagi-Do students and high-fiving Hawk in pure comedy gold. Let's skip ahead to Hawk and Dimitri. This is the weakest part of the whole fight. None of it feels natural. Instead, it feels like they're trying to force a result they want. The show wants us to think Hawk is a natural fighter, almost as good as Miguel, but then he gets hammered by Dimitri. Uneven fights tend to have uneven results, and these two are almost as unevenly matched as you can get. If they wanted to show Dimitri standing up for himself, I would have preferred they go the Rocky route. That is, he could have defended himself and stayed on his feet, gone the distance just like Rocky did. That would have been more believable and respectable. Instead, the apology, the kick smashing Hawk into the glass with the big music cue, and then the tagline.
Sorry.
It's clear the show wants us to be rooting for Dimitri, and I guess it's worth noting out of all the individual fights, this is the only one with a music cue like that. That's the show telling us something, and I don't really agree. The other tagline is at the end of this fight.
Who's badass now?
Okay, back to where Tory cracks Sam's rib. Ouch. So this is a spot that has been discussed a lot because of this. She kicks him away as he tries to get her to settle down. Now a lot of people have taken this as a breakup. She's breaking up with Miguel by kicking him away. I can see why, but I don't agree. Try hard as I can, I don't see Tory as angry or done with Miguel here. That doesn't look like a breakup. Instead, it looks more like what I've said for a while, that Tory is out of control. I think she would have kicked anyone away who tried to stop her. The fact that it was Miguel just goes to show how far she's gone. But I do think this is an inflection point in the fight. It started with Tory wanting to make Sam pay for kissing Miguel, but has become more than that.
Just give me the wallet, and I won't tell security.
Figures.
Hey, somebody couldn't hold their liquor, huh?
Sam is every person who's ever looked down on her, every girl who's ever declared herself better than her. It's that moment when
I'm gonna teach you how to awaken the snake within you. And once you do that, you'll be the one who's feared.
and it has. Her snake is out of control. Notice how from here out the fight is far more brutal and far more personal. It's an intimate, raw hatred. This is not healthy behavior. I see a similar situation with Miguel. He sees Tory has lost control and it almost frees him to unleash his rage at Robbie. Their fight started with Miguel trying to protect Tory, but then it seemed to shift to a karate rivalry, and finally it becomes personal.
That's what taking advantage of Sam! I would never! Then why'd it happen?
Robbie is literally the guy who walked in and stole his girl away.
You don't even know Robbie, and you were trying to start a fight with him?
Having me think I'm a paranoid asshole and yet you're on a date with Robbie?
It's not a date.
He had been keeping his emotions bottled in, and now they're all coming out. Robbie ruined what he had. Likewise, Robbie thinks Miguel was taking advantage of drunk Sam. I understand why, but he should know alcohol just reduces inhibitions. People are closer to their true self while drunk. And Sam, well, that's another video. And as for how this all concludes, Sam isn't really the most sympathetic character. She's kind of blazed a trail of destruction and pain for a lot of other people and has mostly been oblivious to it. Your rational side says no one deserves to be attacked at school like that, which is true, but then this is Cobra Kai. We should expect these things. Likewise, I think Tory loses a lot of sympathy she could have by how far she escalates things. Back when the trailer came out, I think maybe I was one of the first people to label her psycho just like that, and considering her actions, I still think the description is a good one. But like I said before, I think at this point the fight has gotten a lot deeper and personal. It's not just that Sam was off kissing Miguel, it's what Sam represents to Tory. Except we don't really have much Tory backstory, and I think this is why so many people are so desperate to figure it out. There's a mystery here and everyone wants to solve the puzzle. I know a lot of people are actively rooting for Tory here. It makes sense. People root for her the same reason they rooted for Rocky. She's an underdog. Just compare her to Sam.
So you're a Lakers fan?
Yeah, my family said season tickets since I was little, like right at half court.
My mom worked at this restaurant when I was little. And she'd bring home leftovers, so my brother and I had enough to eat.
Plus, Sam gets to learn karate from her dad, while Tory has to work a job just to be able to afford her lessons. They always say in sports, people love to root for the underdog. It's why movies like Rocky are so successful, and why so many people root for Tory. That's fine, but I would caution about the difference between rooting for an underdog, Tory, and actually identifying with her. She's got issues, man. So if you're one of those people just dreaming she smashed Sam's face and, well, I guess maybe look into that or something? Not healthy, dude. Anyway, I'll do you a favor. We just had UFC 239, Nunes versus Holm. This is how a real girl fight looks when one knocks the other down. No mercy, bitch. So it ends with Miguel and Robbie fighting and arguing over Sam.
She doesn't love you, she loves me!
Oh, and this move is clearly not a stunt person. I can understand Robbie a little, and I would like to think Miguel is letting his anger out at Robbie over what he caused. Now, I've talked about Miguel showing mercy here in my No Mercy video. You should check that one out. But in the end, Robbie rage kicks Miguel over the banister. Though it was a sad, tragic ending, it does accomplish one thing. It caps a clean sweep for Miyagi-Do. I mean, shit, they won every fight. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. For a show that emphasizes there are two sides to every conflict, this feels very one-sided. Though there are a few points. First, I don't necessarily think you can say Sam is the winner of her fight. She got the last hit in, but she's still in the hospital with stitches and a broken rib, far more damage than Tory got. Plus, if Tory's goal was for Sam to pay for what she did, can't you basically say she accomplished that? It looks like she paid for it to me. But most importantly, I think the fight results are a setup for Season 3. This is on both sides. It obviously prompts Kreese to come back and take over Cobra Kai. It's a bold move. He directly says he won't let his students lose. In a way, it's almost reminiscent of how Kreese acted after Johnny lost the tournament. Kreese cared for Johnny and couldn't stand to let him lose. Ask yourself, does this mean Kreese has come to care for Miguel, Tory, and Hawk the same way he cares for Johnny? Because if Kreese didn't care about these kids, he wouldn't care if they lost. Instead, he can't stand it. It drives him mad. He's willing to butt in and kick Johnny out. Johnny, the man he also cares for as a son.
I guess it's good you still got that Mexican.
I will never let my students lose.
Are we seeing actual character growth here? Has Kreese grown a heart? He just shows it in his own sort of way. On the other side, there's Daniel. The popular theory right now, and it's freaking everywhere, is Daniel and Johnny team up to take out Kreese. Yeah, rah rah, kick butt. I find the theory odd because it doesn't seem to take into account what happened in the actual episode. Season 2 ends with Daniel's daughter in the hospital and his wife has reached her breaking point. Understandably so. That has to be painful. He agrees, and his season ends with him literally apologizing to a picture of Mr. Miyagi. Does this look like a man who's ready to defy his wife, team up with his arch rival and take on Kreese?
Oh yeah, real dangerous. Geriatric karate coach.
Amanda, this is a man who literally faked his own death. Twice, apparently.
I'm thinking no. So how does he come back? I think the key for Daniel is to remember his first lesson.
Rule of Miyagi-Do karate. Karate is for defense only.
And then how he imparted that lesson on his students.
I'm not gonna throw the first punch.
Too bad.
Daniel helped a lot of kids. They were able to stand up for themselves, defend themselves, and even save themselves. Most especially,
You got room for one more?
the key for Amanda to come around is she has to realize a summer of karate didn't put Sam in the hospital, it's what saved her from far worse. I do think if she had spent the summer at the beach club and shopping for shoes, this fight would have gone very, very differently. She needs to see Daniel's teachings save their daughter and not put her in stitches. And that may be a lesson Sam needs as well. While we don't know the specifics, all this seems like a great reason to go to Okinawa and get in touch with the Miyagi-Do roots. So I don't think Daniel needed to apologize to Miyagi. I would say Miyagi was protecting them all along. So that's my best explanation and theory for why the fight and show went the way it did. Let me know your theories or ideas. Please comment below. Hit like on the video. I mean, you've made it this far. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe. It really helps. I'd like to get my sub count up higher. Anyway, up next is a character analysis on Sam. It's been on my mind for a long time, but I've been putting it off. It's time for that. Seriously, thanks for watching. I know this was a long one. I hope you enjoyed it, got something out of it. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you very soon.
I will never let my students lose. Even if they have to learn the hard way. One day you'll thank me for this, Johnny.